Each morning we born again. What we do today is what matters most. A very good morning to you all, my friends and students. Here I am, Pushpa from St. John's International School, Fatehpur, Haryana. As you all know that I'm taking the subject of the history, and in this week onwards we are starting the grade 11, and till yesterday we saw the grade 11 civics part, and in a week 3 days is a civics part and 3 days is a history part, and today we are going to see the history part of grade 11, and here we have a 4 section, and first section is an early society. So in grade 11 we have a 4 sections. Today we are going to see a half section of section number 1, that is early societies. In grade 11 we have 4 timelines. The first timeline, it starts from 6 million years ago to 1 BCE, before common era, and in this lesson for the whole of the grade 11 we have the 4 timeline. Today is 1. Today we are going to see the first timeline. We have combined one timeline in 2 days. Okay, so because in a timeline we have 2 themes, okay, regarding the early societies. So today we are going to see theme number 1 and tomorrow is theme number 2. The first theme is from the beginning of the time. That means to the how the human evaluation starts, from where the human evaluation starts, and what are the evidence of the human evaluations, and how the human evaluation begins to an settled a modern time, how the language comes, and the story of the human evaluation from the predators to the settled agriculture, like the farmers, how they turn to be, we can mean to say, from hunters and gatherers to the settled agriculture. So these are the clips of today's we are going to see. So first I would like to give a short introductions about how the early society is there, how the early society it was. First, it was a shift of a gradual change of the nomadic life to a settled agriculture. I already told you that we have then a Paleolithic age, that is means the paleo means old, the lithic means stone, so it is a old stone age. It's a beginning of the human evaluations to the settled agriculture. On that time they are the people who hunt and gather the food, and they intake the food. So then they can a little development of finding of the earthen pots to storage of their foods and resources, and started by using the stone tools. They used to hunt the animals and everything, and so also like the ores of the metals are found, like the copper and the tin also used on that societies. And so today's topic is timeline 1. It begins with the 6 million years ago to 1 before common era. So it is an emerge of, between these years is an emerge of the humans, and there the domestications developed, and the technological, like the polished stones also used, also identified, also discovered by them, and they are firing, like plowing the agriculture, and started to the settled agriculture, started to develop that settled agriculture and domestications and all those things. So this is we are going to see. So theme number 1 is from the beginning of the time. It is when the human evaluation starts. When does the human evaluation, human appear? When was the first human appear? It was in years of 5.6 million years. The human appears before the 5.6 million years. The first human appears. On get into the story of the human evaluations, we would want to know that what's the term the fossil means and what's the term the species means. A fossil is an remains or impression of a plant or animals or a human which turn to be a stones, It is the impression, or it's all the remains of the plants or the animals or the humans which have turned to be a stone. That is a fossil. And the word species means it is comes under the internal part of an organism. In ecological, we have different kind of organisms. In organism, we have different type of species. The species would breed to that community. The same community species can fertile their generations. The species will not get into the different type of the another kind of community. It's get not enter to the another community. Only within their species community they go developed. So that is an species. It is an internal part of an organism. So like the evidence of the human evaluations is from the evidence of the human evaluations comes from the fossils of the species of humans. So here the humans evaluation starts by the evidence of the fossils. Okay, so first we are going to see the story of the human evaluation as the predators to the agriculture. So it was a trace development. In book they give some more line of the timeline. It's a tablet column like one. So I sent you the PDF of the 11th grade. You would have referred the tablet column because they clearly put what is done in the year of 5.6 million years, what is in the done of 200 to 300 BC, and all the time period they each separated the time period and tell about what the matter is done in that time. So you would have referred that one. So I will tell you what is in the lesson and how could you learn this lesson and what is the point in this lesson. These are the things I am going to tell you in this video. Okay. So it was a trace development back of 36 to 24 million years ago. So before 36 to 24 million years ago, there is an early emerge of the mammals. We all know that the movement of an organism is a mammals. So the mammals was emerged in the part of an Asia and the Africa. In that time we don't have any the world map and at all. The everything in this the north side or south side, that is told to be an Asia. Nowadays only we are separated into the different countries. Okay. So like the early emergence and mammals, that is it was emerged in the Asia and the Africa. The story of the human evaluation is fully dependent on the Africa and the Asia. Okay. So the mammals was a subgroup into the hominoids. Hominoids, that is Hominoids. Hominoids is a subgroup of the mammals. So in that hominoids we have the two groups, that is an apes and second one is an hominids. அது hominoids. HOMINOIDS. HOMINIDS. There is a similar difference between that. Hominoids have the smaller brain. They have 4 legs to move, and hominids is a larger brain compared to the hominoids, and they have the bipedal locomotion like the human as we know. So it's like an bipedal locomotions. So the first hominids was developed in the region of Africa. Okay. The hominids is belong to the family of Homidae. The Homidae is the family for the hominids. Okay. Hominoids and hominids. Hominoids are the smaller brain compared to the hominids. And the first hominids was developed in the African region, and the hominids the hominids belong to the family of the Homidae. The word home is all refers to a man. The story of the human evaluations, the hominoids and hominids, all this, it's a different kind of a species. One family, they all belongs to one family but have a different species. Okay. So the hominids usually have large brain, upright postures like a human as we know, and the bipedal locomotion, that is a 2-leg locomotions, and the specializations of hands. The hominoids are not having the hands. Okay. So the hominids have a subgroup branches. They are called as a genus. So in genus we have the two things, that is an Australopithecus and the Homo. We have the Australopithecus and the Homo. The word in most of the words in those periods are from the Greek and the Latin words. So here the Latin word is an Australopithecus. It means the Australopithecus means the southern. It meant to a southern, and the word for its Greek meaning is apes. Its Greek meaning is ape, And the word of the homo is a Latin word. It means a man. Okay. So the major difference between the Australopithecus and the homo is brain size, jaws and teeth. By having these three criteria, they differentiate. This one belongs to Australopithecus and this one belongs to the homo. So by having these, what are these? The brain size and the jaws and the teeth. Okay, now we are going to see they're having a different type of fossils. The fossils are classified into the three types, that is Homo habilis and Homo erectus, and third one is a Homo sapiens. So Homo habilis and Homo erectus and Homo sapiens. The word Homo habilis, the Homo means it's a man. So Homo habilis means a tool maker. A tool maker, that is the archaeologist. We can say it as archaeologist. Okay, the archaeologist started to dug off the fossils and take and turn to be a human. So that is an Homo habilis, that is a tool maker. And the Homo erectus means an upright man. An upright man is a straight looking man is an upright man. So it is, we call it as an Homo erectus. And Homo sapiens means the wise, the thinking man. A clever, the brain which is used to wise and the thinking of some other things. Okay, so the fossils are divided by three things. The fossils, because on having the evidence of the fossil, the humans evaluation starts. So on these fossils we have the three divisions, that is a Homo habilis and habilis, erectus and sapiens, that is a tool maker, upright man and a wise man. On identifying a fossil, they have all these things. Okay, then the Homo habilis was first discovered at Ethiopia and Tanzania. All these countries belongs to the African part. Okay, the Homo erectus was discovered at the place of Africa and the Asia, and the hominids are migrated. The hominids, those who belongs to the family of the what's called the Homidae. So the hominids is usually have a larger brain, upright postures, and I already said it is as like an humans. Okay, but from the hominids only we come. Okay, we what we can say that we evaluate. Okay, so the hominids migrated from eastern Africas to the north and the southern Africas. Okay. So the Homo sapiens, we are the Homo sapiens. We are from the Homo sapiens. The Homo sapiens belongs to the one fossils, and the fossil is belongs to, and the fossil is meant the evidence of the humans evaluations. So now we are clear that we are the Homo sapiens. We all belongs to one fossils, and the fossil is from the evidence of the human evaluations. So from the fossils we have the different type of a species. So one of the species is our Homo sapiens. Okay. I hope this lesson is very difficult to understand, but you just understand the name from where we are evaluate, that is an Homo sapien. It's a very important one. And what is the from where it is from Homo sapiens means it is the gene of the hominids and Homo sapiens and the man. Okay, you just clear in this three only. You just be clear in this three only, not get too much of confused, too much of learn into the lesson, because once you get a little part means you can strong in the basic things. Okay, so all the sub names or belongs to only the hominids only. So if you are cleared what the hominids means, you are done with the lesson. Okay, please don't get too much of confusions in this lesson. It's it's not more important, but we have to know that where we start, where we evaluate. You just know what is the hominids, what are the Homo sapiens, and from what is the family of the Homo sapiens, and all those things. Okay, so like the name of the fossils, the name of the fossils are done with the where the fossils are found. So they put the name. If the fossil is found in Tamil Nadu means they said about the Homo Tamilian fossils. So like that they set a name for the each and every fossils. So the fossils, for example, the fossils are found in the Heidelberg, Germany means they get the name of the Homo Heidelberg genus. And the fossils are found nearby the Netherlands valleys. Netherlands valleys means they get the name of the Homo neanderthalensis. So in Homo sapiens, in Homo sapiens, we have two division, that is an Homo heidelbergensis and second one is an Homo neanderthalensis, because the name of the fossil derived from where the place it was found. Okay, and this Homo sapiens was widely distributed in Asian, African and European countries. So the Homo sapiens was the only species was widely distributed in Asian, African and the European countries. So this is an A part from where the early human starts. Like, okay, then how the humans turn to be a modern human being, but what are the food ways they followed, and how the trees and caves they use as a shelter, then how they give to the open sites and the constructed one areas, and what are the tools are making by the humans, and how they communicate each and how they communicate between them. So all these or comes under the B part, that is a modern human being. The food system they are followed, it is an carbonization, that is means once they intake their plants they get burnt the place, because there we have neutralized the soil by done that we have the neutralized the nutrients. We can say the neutralized means the soil get neutrals in the unbalanced nutritions, the soil get more nutritions. It is said to be a shifting agriculture in later part. So it is they followed the carbonizations, they plant intake and plant remains were accidentally burnt. So from how then they are shifted to by what thought, in which thing they think to live in a constructed place means, because on that time they live in the caves and under the trees and all those things. Once they get into the agriculture, once they harvest the field and feed and everything at all, they think where we are going to store this kind of grains, because they know that if you are going to preserve this grains, it would be definitely get spoiled or theft by someone or eaten by the animals and every harmful things. So they think to construct, to store, to preserve these type of grains. Then they started who is going to be secured all these food grains. So they thought, so as a person, at least one person should be in the place of where we preserve the food grains as a security. Okay, means we want to secure the food grains, so they started getting into the constructed one. Then they're making the tools. So on the Paleolithic on the Paleolithic age, the tools, the making tools are used by the stone, bones, antlers and the earths. On that time they don't have that much of polished of the Neolithic compared to the Neolithic age, because they only used only for the huntings and everything at all, not for the engraving the grains and engraving the sculptures and all those things. And in the constructions and caves they wanted to store their art crafts into it. Okay, also so there they wanted to making a polished instrument to grain the grains, to grain their brains. Example, the mortars and the pestles, already I told you. Then the communication comes into the very important part, how the people communicate. Today we have the communication with the language of the Tamil, English and the and the mother tongue of belongs to that place. But how because that is the early part of the human evaluation, that is the starting part of the human evaluations, how the people communicate to themselves or communicate with another. So first they communicate with the gestures with the actions of telling, like deaf people's like, so they would gestures. Again they tell some, if you want something means they tell in the action, so they would gestures. And second thing is they use the non-verbal communications. The verbal communication means the language, and non-verbal communication means is like singing, humming, so all those things comes under the non-verbal communications. So on the third stage, that was the initial stage of the communication starts, they use small sounds like these kinds of sounds this kinds of sounds they used in the initial stage. So at the stage of the Homo habilis, and the Homo habilis, a little big speak gets started. So on the fossil of the Homo habilis, a little big speak gets started. So the language comes only earlier of 200 million years ago. So a difference between today also we have the hunters and gatherers. Today we have also the people who hunt and gathering not a food but for the economic cost. So early the people hunting and gathering for their food, for the resources, for the survival of the life. So there is a meaning on that time. But nowadays also the people who belongs to a high-tech family or a rich family or used to go for the hunting, not for the rich family. In the region of the kings and administrations there, the kings used to go the hunting, but nowadays every people go to hunt for the economic cause. For the economic cause, that is the ethnic reason for the survival of the life, they hunt the animal. But today for the selfish thing, for a selfish mind, they go to hunt the animal for their own economic cause, not for the social cause. So if the people nearby you, the people surrounded by you is hunting means, so try to stop, because without nature we can't live, without domestication, because our life is started by the domestications only. So we should respect the domestic animals and we should live with them. Without them our biological thing is not survive for a long time. Okay, so that's we are going to end up this lesson, as this lesson is a very confusing manner one. So you just know about what is the meaning of the Homo habilis. From the mammals we have hominoids. Hominoids is a subgroup of the hominids. In hominids we have three category, that is Homo sapiens, Homo erectus and Homo sapiens, and we all belongs to the Homo sapiens. So this is how the evaluations start, and the in between things or the differentiates of the each and everything, that is the Australopithecus and the Homo. The word Homo means it's a man. That's about it. And the archaeologist get the source of these kinds of things from the cave paintings and tools they used and the caves they lived. So they assume this is not the exact one. They assume this is how the human evaluation starts. Okay, because that is a prehistoric time. There is no written records to evidence for that. Okay, so this is assumption one, not the a correct meaning. So all these we all belongs to only the fossil. The fossil means it is the remains or the impression. It is an impression of a plants or an animals or a human which turned into a stone. An impression turned into a stone, whether it can be a plant, animals or humans activity. So on having that fossils, the evaluation starts done by scientists. Okay, so this is about the lesson. I hope this will be okay for you students and my dear friends. So I tell you, I give you on my worksheet, I tell you some important questions in that. That is some more what is Homo sapiens and a little bit important. We have a little questions importance in this lesson. So stay at home and stay safe and stay tuned with us for our daily updates. So that's up. We are going to end up the lesson. We are going to see theme 2. It is regarding the writing, the literature, how the people get into the educated, or going to see on the next video, that is on tomorrow. So take care, bye bye, have a nice day, and this signing off from Pushpa, St. John's International School, Fatehpur, Haryana. Bye bye guys.